Following the conclusion of the 2026 Six Nations Championship, attention turns to assessing the trajectory of each competing nation. Next under the spotlight is Scotland, led by head coach Gregor Townsend, whose side delivered a campaign that perfectly encapsulated the paradox that has defined modern Scottish rugby, moments of brilliance interwoven with lingering frustration. A tournament of twists and pressure heading into the championship, optimism among Scottish supporters was in short supply. Their disappointing performances during the autumn internationals, particularly the collapse against Argentina, had cast a long shadow. The pressure on Townsend was palpable, with speculation mounting that a poor Six Nations showing could spell the end of his tenure. That pressure intensified dramatically after Scotland's opening round defeat to Italy. Losing 18-15 in Rome, in dreadful conditions, was more than just a setback. It was a result that raised serious questions about the team's mentality and consistency. Critics grew louder, and the narrative quickly shifted toward whether Townsend had taken the team as far as he could. Yet, in a manner that has become almost quintessentially Scottish, the team responded in spectacular fashion, reviving their campaign and transforming themselves into genuine title contenders. The Calcutta Cup statement. Scotland's response came in the form of a commanding performance against England in the Calcutta Cup clash. Facing a side coached by Steve Borthwick, and one that had looked formidable in their opening fixture, Scotland delivered a performance full of pace, precision, and physical commitment. This victory was not merely about reclaiming the historic trophy, it marked a turning point in their campaign. The tempo at which Scotland played, coupled with their attacking fluency, overwhelmed England and set the tone for what would become an exhilarating run. The heart of this resurgence was Finn Russell. The mercurial fly-half had entered the tournament under scrutiny after a dip in form but rediscovered his magic against England. From that point onward, Russell orchestrated Scotland's attack with authority and flair, reminding everyone why he remains one of the most gifted playmakers in world rugby. Wales scare and French masterclass. If the England victory was a statement, the following match against Wales was a warning. Scotland found themselves trailing 20-5 after 50 minutes, staring down the barrel of a collapse that would have undone all their hard work. However, this time they showed resilience. Russell, alongside dynamic backs like Darcy Graham and George Turner, led a remarkable comeback. The introduction of impact players from the bench shifted momentum, and Scotland surged back to secure a 26-23 bonus point victory. That escape act did little to convince many that Scotland could challenge the tournament's heavyweights, especially with France next on the schedule. France, guided defensively by Sean Edwards, had looked imperious. What followed, however, was arguably the finest performance of the Townsend era. Scotland dismantled France in a breathtaking display at Mayfield. At one stage leading 47-14, they tore through the French defense with relentless attacking waves. The final score of 50-40 did not fully capture their dominance, as late French tries flattered the visitors. This result catapulted Scotland into genuine title contention heading into the final round, a position few would have predicted after their opening defeat. The final hurdle, Ireland. Standing between Scotland and an unprecedented Six Nations title was Ireland, a team that had beaten them in 11 consecutive encounters. The psychological barrier was immense, and despite a spirited effort, Scotland fell short once again. Ireland's clinical execution and physical superiority proved decisive, securing a 43-21 victory and extending Scotland's losing streak against them. For Townsend's men, it meant a third-place finish and another chapter in the ongoing story of near misses. Standout performer central to Scotland's campaign was the resurgence of Finn Russell. His influence was profound, dictating play with intelligence and creativity. Russell's ability to unlock defenses brought the best out of those around him, particularly captain Sione Tuipulotu, whose versatility as a runner, passer, and tactical kicker kept opponents guessing. On the wing, Kyle Stein emerged as one of the tournament's standout performers. His aerial ability, combined with pace and footwork, made him a constant threat. Statistically, he ranked among the leaders in meters gained and defenders beaten, underlining his impact. Meanwhile, Darcy Graham once again demonstrated his finishing prowess, topping Scotland's try-scoring charts and further cementing his reputation as one of the most dangerous wingers in international rugby. Up front, Scotland's pack delivered performances that were both industrious and impactful. Xander Fagerson anchored the scrum effectively, alleviating concerns in that area. In the back row, Rory Darge and Jack Dempsey were outstanding. Darge excelled at the breakdown, disrupting opposition ball and maintaining defensive solidity, while Dempsey's ball carrying consistently provided forward momentum. Their contributions were crucial in laying the platform for Scotland's attacking game. At scrum half, Ben White impressed with his tempo control and tactical kicking, adding another layer of efficiency to Scotland's play. Statistical highlight: Scotland's attacking prowess was reflected in the numbers. Kyle Stein ranked among the tournament leaders in meters gained and defenders beaten, showcasing his ability to break defensive lines. Darcy Graham's try-scoring exploits placed him ahead of notable teammate Duhan van der Merwe in Scotland's all-time standings, though both trailed France's prolific Louis Bielbayri. Defensively, Rory Darge stood out with an exceptional tackle success rate and a high turnover count, matching leading players like Tadhg Beirne and Maro Ito Jinki. Metrics: hooker George Turner also delivered consistency in the lineout, achieving a perfect success rate, an impressive feat that helped stabilize an area of concern following earlier struggles. The success story: despite ultimately falling short of the title, Scotland's victories over England and France were significant achievements. Not only did they defeat two of the tournament's strongest teams, but they did so with a brand of rugby that was both exhilarating and effective. These performances highlighted Scotland's potential to compete with, and defeat, the very best. The players' commitment to their coach was evident, as they rallied behind Townsend during a period of intense scrutiny. Captain Sione Tuipulotu's remarks about playing for their coach reflected a united squad determined to prove their worth. In doing so, they not only salvaged their campaign but also reinforced their credentials as a rising force in international rugby. The lingering regret: and yet, for all the positives, the overriding emotion remains frustration. Scotland's inability to maintain consistency continues to hinder their progress. The opening defeat to Italy looms large as the defining moment of their campaign. A victory in that match, especially with a bonus point, could have transformed their final standing and possibly delivered a historic title. Similarly, the continued struggles against Ireland remain a psychological hurdle that must be overcome if Scotland are to take the next step. Even the match against France, despite ending in victory, carried consequences. Allowing the French to secure a losing bonus point ultimately removed control of the title race from Scotland's hands. Looking ahead, the 2026 Six Nations campaign encapsulated everything that defines Scotland: flair, resilience, unpredictability, and, ultimately, unfulfilled promise. There is no doubt that Townsend has built a team capable of competing at the highest level. The challenge now lies in translating potential into sustained success. With the 2027 Rugby World Cup on the horizon, Scotland must address their inconsistencies and develop the mental fortitude required to close out tournaments. For now, they remain a team of tantalizing possibilities, capable of brilliance, yet still searching for the consistency that separates contenders from champions. In the end, Scotland's 2026 Six Nations journey will be remembered not just for what they achieved, but for what might have been.